Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the next in the Sewells TOSITA series. And of course, TOSITA is an acronym for the other shot in the arm. We all now know that the vaccine is going down well and that things are improving. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. But people have been saying, well, it's okay, the vaccine for for COVID, but we need a bit of a vaccine psychologically. We need a boost. We're all battle weary. We just need something that's going to get us through this and give us the tools to be able to come out a bit stronger. So that's where the other shot in the arm came from. First one of these, we talked about how powerful we are in terms of creativity and energy, pretty vast. And in the second one, we talked about the importance of thoughts as being conduits for where all that energy and creativity is directed, and therefore what comes out the other end. And what was interesting is the response to that has been tremendous, where people saying, yeah, well, intuitively, we kind of know what that means, but we're not sure really how. How do you control your thinking? And I know we said last time that, it's important to control your thinking because human beings become on the outside what they think about on the inside. But it's so therefore thoughts are like things. They eventually turn into things. And people said, yeah, but we're swimming in this sea of negativity. So how do you almost put the Star Trek reflector shields on to stop that negativity getting inside our minds and impacting us in a bad way and a negative way? And so we thought we'd give some insights into some of that. And just a reminder, we have a minimum of 70,000 thoughts every day. They are word type thoughts, they're picture type thoughts, they're feeling and emotion type thoughts. And those thoughts are actually, I think it was Voltaire, who was a French philosopher, who said, you have to cultivate your own garden. And he wasn't a modern day Alan March. He was a philosopher. He knew about stuff. And what he was basically saying is we have to cultivate our own garden and we have to plant the right seeds because you reap what you sow. And if you don't plant the right seeds, you're not going to get the right crop. But people are saying, yeah, but Will, how do we control our thinking? And let me just remind you what I'm talking about here. Have you all got a little chatterbox in your head that just keeps on and on and on and on all the time? Because it's 24/7. And sometimes it's quite positive and sometimes it can be quite negative. And one of the things we've got to do, if I can go back to the gardening analogy, we're coming up to the time of year, spring, and I'm an avid gardener. I love gardening. But have you ever noticed that the weeds grow 10 times faster than the plants? And if we're not disciplined at actually pulling the weeds out, they can choke all the good stuff in terms of the positives or the plants that we're actually trying to grow, trying to develop and get a show from. So it's really important that we fill our minds with almost like happy memories, but also joyful projections. So thinking of what is it going to be like when this is over, but also the good stuff, because our minds are wonderful things. And as soon as we start asking ourselves questions like, well, I'm not good enough to do this. I'll never be able to do that. Well, our minds start getting busy compiling all the evidence to show you why that is true. And I think it was Mark Twain who first said this. And it's been attributed to lots of other people, Henry Ford and other people. It was Mark Twain first. And he said, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right. And that's really profound, because what the mind does is if you turn around and say, well, I'm not good enough, the mind gets busy on proving why you're not good enough, and therefore you don't even try. But if you turn around and say, of course I'm good enough, plenty of other people have done that, And so why can't I do it? Well, your mind then starts getting busy on proving why you can do it. So you don't need 170,000 thoughts a day for this to work for you. You just need 70,000, but they all need to be in the right areas, the positive areas. And a number of times I've been hearing people, and it's just a change of vocabulary sometimes, it's a change of thinking, where what we're saying is, rather than saying I'm overworked, just say I'm in demand. It's the same, but it's massively different. And so just try and change the terms you use. And it reminds me of a client that we had. And he was talking about the way he was trying to change the way the business operated. And he said, "Do you know, I realised that changing the way the business operates without the changing the way the people in it think first was as futile as it was costly." And it's the same on an individual basis. You need to control that thinking. That's where you need to manage it at that level and be thinking positive things all the time. You'll have loads of happy memories. So when negatives come in, replace it with the happy memories and have loads of joyful projections. So again, when the negatives come in, replace them with the joyful projection. How good is it going to be in the summer when we're all together, the sun's shining, we're in a pub, we're having a beer, we're having a meal out, whatever it is. Think of those things rather than how bad it is. You'll be amazed at the difference. Thank you. See you next time.